Hello friends, welcome to my channel eGrammar. Now in this video we are going to see change the voice in past continuous tense. Now I have divided the past continuous tense in three forms. First affirmative sentences, then negative sentences, and last questions. Now we are going to see how we are going to convert these three forms into passive voice, means from we are going to do it's change the voice. Okay, now take a look at the formula first. How we construct sentence in past continuous tense in active voice. See, subject, then was, were, it depends on the subject, then the verb ing, the base form of the verb, we attach ing word to that base form of the verb, and lastly comes object. While converting sentence from active to passive, subject and object, these two words, the subject and object, they change their places to each other. See this formula. Object comes at the place of subject and subject goes at the place of object. Now exactly after object we have to use this form of be. Now it depends on the object, what type of object it is. Then we have to use this being word. Why? Because we are constructing sentence, so we're converting sentence in passive voice, but the sentence is in past continuous tense. So for that continuous we have to use this being. Okay, whatever our verb would be, we have to convert that word in the third form of the verb. This is actually known as past participle form, and exactly after the past participle we have to use this word by. It is compulsory and passive voice, and then comes subject. Now while converting sentence from active to passive, there are certain changes in subject. Take a look what happened with the subject. See, in active voice, I, in passive it's me. Then we becomes us, they becomes them, you remain as you, he becomes him, she becomes her, it becomes it, and name remain as name. Now in this active voice you can see this, these all are subjects. While converting these subjects into passive voice, you can easily see that these red colored words, they do not change, but the other words, means other subjects, these are all subjects, other subject, they do change. Okay, now let us see how we convert sentence in past continuous tense in affirmative sentence into passive voice. Let me write the sentence first. He was writing a letter. In passive voice, a letter. Now our object is singular, that's what I'm using this was. Okay, exactly after was I have to use this word being. It is compulsory in past continuous tense. Okay, a letter was being written by him. Now let's see the formula for this. In active voice, past continuous tense, in active voice we construct sentence like this: subject, was, were, verb ing, and then object. In passive voice, object comes first, a letter. Now our object is singular, that's what I use this was. Now this was is what? The form of be. Was, were. In past continuous tense passive voice we are going to use this was or were. It depends on the object, what type of object it is. Then being, this word we have to use in passive voice in past continuous tense. Then comes third form of the verb, then by is compulsory to use, and then comes subject. Now there are certain changes in subject. He becomes him. Okay, now what if our object is in plural form? See this sentence, they were writing letters. Now our object is in plural form, so in passive voice what happens? Letters were being written by them. Why we use here were? Because our object is in plural form. Okay, so we use here were. So letters were, and the remaining part will remain as it is, being written by him. Understood? Now take a look at some example first in affirmative sentence past continuous tense. I was eating an apple was being eaten by me. You were playing football was being played by you. We were singing songs were being sung by us. He was drinking milk was being drunk by him. She was writing letters were being written by her. Sam was selling vegetables were being sold by Sam. Understood? Now let us move to the next part, that is negative sentence in past continuous tense. Now let me write the formula first. Sorry, let me construct the sentence first. In active voice we write negative sentence like this: he was not writing a letter. In passive voice I already told you, subject and object, they change their places to each other. Then object comes at the place of subject in passive voice. Let's see what type of our object is. It's in a singular form, so we have to use this was word. Okay, now our sentence in active voice is in negative form, so this not will remain as it is. Okay, so a letter was not. After not, this part being, we have to use this word compulsory, being. Then the third form of the verb in this sentence active voice, our verb is writing. Okay, in the passive voice we have to use the third form of the verb. This form is also known as past participle form. Then this word by is compulsory in passive voice, we have to use it. And then comes him, he becomes him. Understood? See the formula for this. See this formula. We have converted this sentence like by putting these words in these two formulas. Okay, what if our object is in the plural form? At the time our passive voice sentence would be like this. See, active voice sentences, they were not writing letters. In passive voice, letters were. Why were? Because our object, this object act here as an subject, but I'll call it object. So this object is in the plural form, that's why I use here were. So letters were negative sentence, that's why not will be remain here as it is. So letters were not being written by them. Understood? Now take a look at some example for this in negative sentence past continuous tense. See, I was not eating an apple. An apple was not being eaten by me. You were not playing football. Football was not being played by you. We were not singing songs. Songs were not being sung by us. He was not drinking milk. Milk was not being drunk by him. She was not writing letters. Letters were not being written by her. Sam was not selling vegetables. Vegetables were not being sold by Sam. Understood? Now let us move to our last part, that is questions in past continuous tense. Now let me write the question first. See, in active voice I construct the question in past continuous tense like this: was he writing a letter? In passive voice it would be converted like this: was a letter being written by him? Now in this sentence you should go for formula first. See the formula. See, I've already told you, subject and object, they change their places to each other while converting sentence from active to passive. Now see, in the passive voice, a letter, this is our object that comes at the place of subject. Okay, now take a look at the object. This object is in the singular form, so that's why I have to use here was. Was a letter. After this object I have to use this word being. After being I have to use the third form of the verb, it is known as past participle form. That past participle form, exactly after that I have to use this word by. It is compulsory, this being word and this by word, it's compulsory in past continuous tense while converting sentence from active to passive. And lastly comes the subject. Then there is certain change in subject. In active voice it is he, in passive voice it becomes him, and our question mark will remain as it is. But if our sentence in our sentence our object is in plural form at the time, what happens? See, actually we are constructing question here. See, was he writing letters? Now see here what I have done, I write letters, this is an object. Now this word, this object is in the plural form, so were letters. Exactly after object then comes being, were letters being. After that third form of the verb written by him and question marks. Okay, understood? Now take a look at some example for this. See, Was I eating an apple? Was an apple being eaten by me? Were you playing football? Was football being played by you? Were we singing songs? Were songs being sung by us? Then, was he drinking milk? Was milk being drunk by him? Was she writing letters? Were letters being written by her? Was Sam selling vegetables? Were vegetables being sold by Sam? Understood? Thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe and like the video. Thank you very much.